Well, mostly, there isn't an official blacklist yet. Certainly will be unpopular, I'm sure, but I've always generated my own material, so I don't have, my agent isn't out there trying to get me hired. I've always generated my own material. And, for the scary movies, I mean, the Weinsteins came to me because the Wayans didn't want to do Scary Movie 3, so I was the next on the list. So, and I enjoyed doing those movies, and they were hugely successful. And if I want to do a mainstream funny movie, I can do it, and I think people realize that I can. Now, if they put ideology in front of commerciality, I suppose I could be blacklisted, but I have ideas for movies that are good ideas, and I can do another one. I can do it, for low budgets. It's kind of a different business where, you get a huge salary and you make a $100 million movie. Those decisions are made really high up in the boardrooms, and they're responsible to stockholders. I don't know if I'm really in that kind of business. I want to do more low-budget movies. Even the scary movies were comparatively low budget. They were around $30 million. This movie was almost half that. So it's a different world if you can think up concepts that don't require big stars. And I think I'll be able to continue to work like that. But I didn't do that. I didn't do American Carol thinking that I'd be dependent on somebody calling me up on the phone and saying, we want to hire you. I've always kind of thought of my own ideas.
Mm-hmm. Now, you're catching a little flack in the media for not having screened this ahead of time for a lot of the critics. What do you say to that?
I think most of the critics are work for the mainstream newspapers, and I think that I don't think we'll get a real fair shake from the studio thought, the production company thought that we wouldn't get a fair hearing because if you're already against what this movie stands for, you'll find a way to say it's not funny. If you agree with more of it, you're more tending to be sympathetic, and I think that the mainstream media, just particularly the newspapers, just not really predisposed to think these things are that funny. Although I've showed it to all my liberal friends, which is all of them, and they did laugh. Although they said they didn't agree with all of it or most of it, they had a good time. They thought it was funny.
So is there something in here for?
Oh, of course there is. No, I think it's very funny. To the middle, to the far left, I don't think it is funny. If you're really far left, but I think the jokes will be funny to anybody with a sense of humor.
So since you've come up against such opposition, it sounds like, in your views, tell us how the evolution of the script and the film, because I know that you and Myrna Slavrock wrote it together.
Well, with Louis Friedman.
With Louis.
Evidently, Louis Friedman is not on any of the materials. I don't know why.
IMDb,
Not on IMDb, and no one changed it, so I don't know why. But Louis Friedman and I wrote most of it. I mean, for 2 years of writing it, Myrna and I wrote it, and all the ideas in it are Myrna's and mine, and the jokes in it are all Louis Friedman and myself. And Louis and I made the movie. We were on the set together, directing it together. Louis and I wrote every night after shooting, every morning before shooting. So we wrote a lot of it as the movie went along. And I mean, that's how a lot of movies are made. You never stop writing. All the Naked Guns, I wrote every day. You just, according to what's going on and what happened the previous day. And so we kept a lot of the script that Myrna and I had written tend to be more on the serious and preachy side. With Myrna had 4 big ideas that she wanted to express throughout the movie, which was America was a force for good in the world. I can't remember the other 3 ideas. I mean, they were important ideas. He wanted to support religion and support the military. So that's 3 of the ideas. I'm less about the specific ideas, and in the end, I didn't want to go around saying that I've made a movie that was about the 3 ideas. I much prefer that, we use these ideas and the opposition to them by the other side, from the other side, to make jokes. And that's what really motivated me to make the movie, that people wouldn't support the troops. Well, besides being pathetic, that's funny. Or that I know how important religion is to, the functioning of a democracy. And that's what it was from the beginning. And the country was founded by religious people. And that was important then, and it's important now. And it's important to me, although I'm Jewish, it's important to have a strong Christianity, because it's the majority religion. That's why it's okay with me to have Jesus in the manger in front of a city hall. That's fine. Well, who does that hurt? And, it may offend like a tiny minority of people, but nobody's discriminated against because of that. And the 10 Commandments in a courtroom, it's the basis of all Western law, so why would that hurt anybody? And, Dennis Prager always use the analogy of if you're walking down a dark alley in a bad part of town at night and you see, a group of, 20 guys coming toward you out of the shadows, would it make you feel better to know that they had just come out of a Christian Bible class? And the answer, I think, would be yes. So, okay, so what's the big deal? Why? So that's why I wanted to make this sketch about the evil Christians. I just couldn't wait to do that, to show, well, they're just the same as anybody who's evil. These evil, anyways, don't get me started.
And keep on going. This is what we look